So, good evening, everyone. So, today we are going to deal with Materia Medica, that is single lines of less common remedy. So, these are the topic we can see mainly rare remedies and their important single points. Okay, so we'll see one by one. First one is urticaria. That about the urticaria, the point is urticaria appearing and disappearing suddenly with internal coldness. So the medicine is antipyrine. So urticaria that is appearing and disappearing suddenly with internal coldness, the medicine is antipyrine. Then about urticaria and mental disorders commencing as a consequence of suppressed malaria. So this is the remedy, that is elatrium. That is the remedy which causes the urticaria from the suppressed malaria, or the consequence of suppressed malaria, patient will have a urticaria or irascible desire to wander from home at night. That is also elatrium. Then pain better by diversion of attention. That is pepper. So these are the few things, that is once again urticaria appearing and disappearing suddenly with internal coldness, that is antipyrine. Then urticaria and mental disorders commencing as a consequence of suppressed malaria, that is elatrium. An irascible desire to wander from home at night is also elatrium. And then pain better by diversion of attention, that is pepper. So the next is about the remedy Eugenia Jampos, that is the nausea is better by smoking. So this is the only remedy. The nausea is better by smoking, that is Eugenia Jampos. Then pain and fever are present, that's mainly seen in cinnamon. Then vertigo, which is very persistent, and along with that patient will have pain in the stomach and abdomen, and which is mainly aggravating in the umbilical area or the umbilicus, that is the granatum. Okay, and then very fiery red looking ulcer, that is cinnabaris. So these are the other points, that is that nausea that is better by smoking is Eugenia jampos. Then pain and fever are present, that is the cinnamon. And then vertigo is very persistent, and patient will also having pain in the stomach and abdomen, and it's worse nearly the area of umbilicus, that is granatum. And then very fiery red looking ulcer that can be seen in cinnabaris. Then weak asthenopoic literally persons with weak digestion and constipation, which is aggravated in morning, and the patient who is suffer from periodic headache and hoarseness, that is Nicoleum sulf. So the person who is weak and asthenopoic literatory person who is having a very weak digestion and constipation, which is aggravated in the morning, and suffer from periodic headache and hoarseness, we can think of Nicoleum sulf as the remedy. Then the whole face is puffed and edematous, and the eyes are arctic coldness. Cold waves from occiput to feet is ascending. That is the heloderma. Here in heloderma, the patient face became puffed and edematous. Then eyes, then arctic coldness will be feel, and the cold wave. The patient will have some cold wave feeling from the occiput to the feet, or it's from an ascending type of feel or sensation. That is the heloderma. Will owe the SPIP, like the character of the subjective symptoms, and the physiometric properties or special features. That's the remedy can be seen in which. So this is symptom can be seen in which remedy, that is pothos. Okay, so will owe the whips, like the character of its subjective symptom and the psychometric property or special. So this is the symptom can be seen only in pothos. Then about the dolichos, there is a general intense itching without eruption. That is, everyone is known that the dolichos is the remedy which is having the general intense itching without any eruptions. And then a most valuable remedy in vomiting of various kinds of morning sickness, gastric irritation of children, and no form of food is tolerated. And this type of this patient is having the intolerable food to any form of food, and the children with the gastric irritation, and it is the one of the good remedy for the various kind of morning sickness, that is the amygdalus persica. Then the mucous membrane as it's mainly the action in the mucous membrane, and there is a bearing down sensation in the pelvic organ, and bronchial symptoms are more marked. So there will be a uterine complaint, and the respiratory complaint is also there, mainly the bronchial symptom, and there is a bearing down sensation, and the remedy is more action on the mucous membrane. The remedy is inula, and the other sensation as if something is bearing down, that is the sepia and Aiapget. Then the picture of angina pectoris is presented by the action of the drug. The pericardial region seems to be the center of attack. Okay, this everyone know the lactodactus is the one of the important heart or cardiac remedy, and this is showing the picture of angina pectoris is presented by the action of the drug, that is the precordial region seems to be the center of attack. So the answer is lactodactus. Then a Mediterranean remedy for inflammation, and which is having an inflammation to coffee. So there is an inflammation, that is the remedy for inflammation, and which having the aversion to coffee, then we can think of natrum nitricum. And the skin symptoms, that is alternating with the joint symptom, that is the remedy is Staphysagra, and this has been given in the Robin Murphy, and I have seen clinically proved that this symptom is also, this remedy is also useful in such type of symptom where we can think of the palliation, that is the think of the homeopathic palliation. Then everything smell or taste like a honey, that is apocynon andro. So here the points are, first of all, about lactodactus matters. The picture of angina pectoris is presented by the action of the drug, and the precordial region seems to be the center of the attack, that is lactodactus matter. Then again, the remedy which is useful for the inflammation with the aversion to coffee is nothing but natrum nitricum. Then skin symptom is alternating with joint symptom. The remedy is Staphysagra, and everything is smells or tastes like a honey, that is apocynon andro. So here the patient will write the last letter for the first word and misspells the common words, that is xerophilum. So the xerophilum is the remedy where we can see that patient will write the last letter of the first word and misspells the common words, that is xerophilum. The arithmetic feels difficult can be seen in syphilinum, and it is claimed that this remedy is so disinfect the bowel, and that the flatus and stool will be free from odor. That the remedy which having the very offensive stool or the flatus, we can think of rus glabra. And then another thing is the medusa is the remedy where we can see nose, ears, lips, or having the marks action, and the lacteal gland also. So this is the medusa is the remedy we can think in the action of nose, ears, lips, and marked action on lacteal glands. So then will often break up a cold sensation of drunkenness with constant endeavor to take cold. So there is something that will often and break up of cold, then sensation there is a drunkenness with constant endeavor to take cold. Patient will have a constant endeavor to take cold, and then end up with the breakup of a cold. That is the remedy is saponaria. Okay, this is the remedy. So in serophylum, patient will write the first letter of the first word and misspells the common words. Then it is claimed to that this remedy is to be disinfected, that bowels and the flatulence as a stool will be free from odor. If the patient is coming with high odor of flatulence or stool, we can think of rus glabra. And the nose, ears, lips, where and the lacteal gland is there. The medusa is the remedy having the highest action on this area. Then something will be the sensation of drunkenness with constant endeavor to take cold. That will be often break up as a cold. That is the remedy is saponaria. And next about the that's a remedy that is the worst alcohol falls after 1 or 2 drinks of whiskey. So this the remedy is trinitrotoluene. Is the remedy that is worst alcohol after 1 or 2 drinks of whiskey. It's a remedy for a hay fever and lacrimation and intolerable itching of the eyelids. That is ambrosia. The ambrosia is a remedy for the hay fever, lacrimation, and intolerable itching of the eyelids. That is the ambrosia. And this is also very much clinically proved that in my practice section. Then the remedy for the torticollis and the rheumatic symptom about the neck is the lecnandus. The lecnandus is the only remedy we can see that mainly mention about the word like torticollis. Okay, and it's a rheumatic symptom about the neck also. We can think of lecnandus. So the remedy for hay fever, lacrimation, and intolerable itching of the eyelids, we can think of ambrosia. And the remedy for torticollis and rheumatic symptom about the neck, that is lecnandus. And the remedy for uterine displacement, sensation as if whole body were made up of jelly. This is something different feel of sensation, because the patient will having that sensation of jelly, and with the uterine displacement, then you can think of upion. And a remedy for worms and symptoms, especially with the constipation. So we will think once the patient or the child come with an worms, we will think of Sina, then Santonin, and so Spigelia. These are the remedy. But there is some rare remedy with patient with having and symptom of constipation. We can think of Phyllis mass. So remedy for worm symptom, especially with the constipation. And the remedy with jaundice and black tarry stool and the tongue coated yellow, that is the lipandra. So lipandra is the remedy which the patient having the jaundice and the black tarry stool and tongue is coated very much yellow. And the tissues remedy for the sclerosed artery, that is sample. So this is another, it's an tissue, it's like tissue remedy, and it's mainly used for the sclerosed arteries, that is sample. Then abnormal sweat after influenza, that is the amylinum. So amylinum is the other remedy which has abnormal sweat after influenza. Then about the rubina, that is acrid and greenish vomiting, colic and flatulence, nightly burning, pain in stomach, and constipation with urgent desire. So and also acidity in children. So we can think of rubina where the children will having the complaint of acidity, and there will be acrid and greenish vomiting and colic, and then flatulence which is high, and nightly burning pain in the stomach, and constipation with urgent desire. Patient will having constipation, and at the same time patient will also have the highest and urgent desire. Then the remedy is robina, as the act as a tonic, increasing and appetite, that is like alpha alpha. This is also act as a tonic and increases the appetite, that is the genitana lutea. Then this is the remedy, that is the lamina minor is the remedy, especially upon the nasal polyps, swell and turbinate, atrophic rhinitis, worse in damp rainy weather, especially heavy rains, that is the lamina minor. So lamina minor is the remedy which is mainly acted upon the nostril and the nasal polyps, swell and turbinate, atrophic rhinitis, and which is worse or aggravated in the rainy weather, especially heavy rains. Then the Mongolia grandis grandiflora. It's a remedy where the alternating pain between the spleen and heart and sensation as if what heart has stopped beating. That is the Mongolia grandifolia. So here it come 3-4 important remedies. That is Rubina, Lemna minor, then Mongolia, and the Genitana lutea. So in Rubina that has been seen that acidity in children and the patient with the acrid greenish vomiting, colic, flatulence, and nightly burning pain in stomach and constipation with urgent desire. And in Gentiana lutealia, that is act as a tonic and which increases the appetite also. Then about the lemna minor, it acted especially upon the nostril, and that is mainly nasal polyps, swollen turbinate, atopic rhinitis, and which is aggravated in damp and rainy weather, especially heavy rains. And then alternating pain in between the in the spleen and heart, and sensation as if heart would stop beat. The remedy is Mongolia grandiflora. Next is alteration of happy, hopeful state with depression and weakness. That is sulfonal. So other remedy which has an extreme of happiness and extreme of this one is sadness is natramure, and opium is also um, can be differentiated. Here the alternation of happiness and hopeful state with the depression and weakness. So there will be a patient will having an alternation symptom of happy, then having the hopeful states with the depression and weakness. Amelioration of pain for a time by diverting attention. So this is the pepper mastheticum. And then asthma to relieve the spasm of glottis, marked loss of memory, and especially for the names. When the patient will have the asthma, that is also relieved by spasm of glottis, and patient will having that memory loss, especially for name that is chlorum. Then asthmatic symptom in the hemorrhoidal subject is genicus effusus. So the arithmetic is difficult, that is syphilinum, and here the patient especially forget the names, and in so can be differentiated with medorinum also. Then but here the in chlorum the patient will having the complaint of asthma which is relieved by spasm of glottis. Then amelioration of pains for a time by diverting the attention. That thinking of the pain or thinking of the complaint get aggravated is an oxalic acid, and here is amelioration of pain for a time by diverting the attention, that is pepper. And then alteration of happy and hopeful state with depression and weakness is sulfonal. An asthmatic symptom in a hemorrhoidal subject can be seen in genicus effusus. Then about oleum jacoris, and that is the patient will have, or the infants will have the atrophy of infants, or the emaciation with hot hands, head, restless, and fever at night. Children who not take milk. So we can think of oleum, and the children uh, who cannot tolerate milk is also can be compared with here. And the atrophy of infants, the emaciation with the heart, hands, and feet, head, restless, feverish at night. Children who cannot tolerate milk. So that is the oleum jacoris. Then backache and leukorrhea, feeling as if back were broken into two, and tired feeling. That can be seen in the calcarea ovarium. That means calcareum ovatosta. Then bodily and mental exertion, drowsiness after sea bathing. This drugs to be introduced by C. Herring and partially proved him by Lippic. Can anyone guess what was the remedy? That the remedy is limulus. So the body and the mind has been exhausted so badly, and drowsiness mainly after sea bathing. We can think of this remedy, that is the limulus. So next is the backache with leukorrhea and feeling as if back were broken into tired two, and there is a tired feeling, that is the calcarea ovatosta. About in the oleum jacoris, that the infants are atrophied, emaciation with the hot hands and head, restless, feverish at night, and children who do not take milk. Then about the bronchitis and thesis with mucopurulent, thicky, creamy expectoration can be seen in balsamum pyruvina. So this is the remedy. Then next about the boils and capitis, and then vomiting of all food and drink with gastric pain, impetigo, glandular swelling, angioneurotic edema, eczema in infants, and the remedy is calcarea mure is the remedy for the complaint of boils and vomiting of all food and drink with gastric pain, impetigo, glandular swelling, angioneurotic edema, and eczema in infants. Then injuries to snus and tendon and the periosteum. That is everyone know. Symphytum. The insomnia produces normal sleep, no disturbance of cerebral function, neurosis of children, and worm fever, teething and spasm. The remedy everyone know, the insomnia is came, and the remedy is of course everyone know, that is the placifora. So here the insomnia produces normal sleep, no disturbance of cerebral function. The patient will not have any sort of cerebral function or neurosis of children or worm in fever or teething or spasm, nothing. But generally insomnia which produces a normal sleep. So the remedy is placifora. Placifora. Then instantaneous voices produces, that is the populus candicus, intense pruritus, urticaria appearing and disappearing suddenly with internal coldness, antipyrinum in intestine can be felt like a cylindrical enlargement. The remedy is tannic acid, irritable feeling under the fingernails relieved only by biting them, that is the ammonium bromatum. And this is the remedy, that is the lupulus is the remedy in an unstrung condition of the nervous system attained with nausea, dizziness, headache following the night dip, that is the lupulus. So intense pruritus, urticaria appearing and disappearing suddenly with cold nights, that is the antipyrinum. Intestine can be felt like a cylindrical enlargement, that is tannic acid. Irritable feeling under the fingernails relieved only by biting them, it's the remedy, that is ammonium bromatum. And it's a good remedy for unstrung condition of the nervous system attained with nausea, dizziness, headache following a night diabetes, that is the lupulus. It's a remedy in some form of congestive headache, that is the sunstroke. The remedy, that is Usnea barbata. This is the remedy, can be think of congestive headache, some form of congestive headache with some sunstroke, and it is an enemy to very kind of worm infestation of human body. So the remedy is chelon. The chelon is the remedy which is act as the, or which is felt at the sense thought as an enemy to any kind of worm infection in the body, and it has recognized as the being the most effective chemical and antidote in case of morphine opium poisoning, that is Cali permagnum. So Cali permagnum is recognized as the being the most effective chemical and antidote in case of morphine or opium poisoning. So it meets the autotraumatism of masturbation and correcting emission and spermatoria, that is Tribulus terrestrius. So Tribulus terrestrius is the remedy which makes the autotraumatism of masturbation correcting and the correcting emission and spermatoria in in male complaint. In such complaint that the patient is suffering with the autotraumatism of masturbation and there will be an emission and the spermatoria, then the remedy is Tribulus. And this particular remedy, that is Gossypium, is the remedies relieve arthritis menses, especially with the sensation flow is about to start and yet do not do so. the patient will, or the female patient will have the sensation that flow is begin to start, but there is nothing. So we can think of gossypium is a remedy. And itching of the arms and hands when writing, that is mentha pipitra. And then itching is relieved by hot water, that is ras venata. And its action on the excess of oxygen carrier and catalyzer, hence it is used in a wasting disease, that is vanadium. And the pituitary gland is the other remedy. Influence the unstriped muscle fibers is marked. Uterine inertia in the second stage of labor, where OS is usually dilated, we can think of pituitary gland. It's pain or wandering in nature with much stiffness and drawing. Everything smells like a honey. So everything is smells like a honey. Then the medicine is apocyinum androsemifolium. And the left sided of face, head, chest, hip all have lacinating pain. Like lacosis, there is a complete left-sided affinity, that is the lipidium bonarensis. Then lessons from the vomiting in the gastric ulcer, that is granium maculatum. Then leukorrhea in little girls can be seen in cucuba, and also other remedies like calcarea carb and sepia. So leukorrhea in little girls is seen in cucuba. Libidinous thought and this lascivious dreams is controlled genital irritability, that is salix nigra. So salix nigra is the remedy we can think, where the libidinous thought and lascivious dream and control the genital irritability. Long lasting effect seems to be indicated as a chronic blood poisoning, that is the lactoductus. So lactoductus is the other remedy. So lactoductus is the other remedy we can see in such complaints or the such symptom. And then oxytropes, that is the remedy which has a marked action on nervous system and trembling sensation of emptiness, where the stool is slipped from the anus like a lump of jelly mushy. So oxytropes is the medicine where the we can have a trembling sensation and it has a marked action on nervous system. Then stool will be slipped from the anus from a lumps of jelly. Then we can think of oxytropes. Then brushing teeth causes cough, coccus cacti. So this is one of the common symptom. Most of the patient will come and tell you that while brushing the teeth, I will start my cough. So in such area, we can think of coccus cacti. Can emit urine only when he goes to knee, pressing head firmly against the floor. So there will be some sort of difficulty. The patient can emit only urine when he goes to the knee and pressing the head firmly against the flora. That is the Praeria brava. And then the other remedy which is used in that is the cancer of tongue and agonizing neuralgia have been benefited by this remedy and was between 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is calicinatum. So calicinatum is a wonderful remedy for homeopathic palliation when it's come to a CA tongue. Then Cariter suggested in the vagoparalytic forms of bronchitis of the aged toxic bronchitis after a grip, that is the diphtherium. Cariter is suggested it in the vagoparalytic form of bronchitis and aged or toxic bronchitis after a grip, that is the diphtherium. Then catarrhal inflammation of the kidney with and the dropsy with the suppression of urine can be seen in the Juniperus communis. So catarrhal inflammation of the kidney and dropsy with the suppression of urine can be seen as Juniperus communis, and the center of action in the pylorus, causing painful contraction with the duodenal intestine. Duodenal distension. You can see that is the Orinthrogalium umbulatum. And this is the remedy where we can see the center of action mainly in the pylorus. Children who are puny and weak and limped and grow too fast is iridium. And chimney sweeper is a cancer, that is the filigo linking. So this is the other remedies. Like catarrhal inflammation of kidney, dropsy with suppression of urine, that is Juniperus cumineus, and then center of action is the pylorus, causing painful contraction with duodenal distension, that is Orindrogalum umbulatum. Then children who are skinny, weak-limbed and grow too fast, that is the iridium. And chimney sweepers, that is the cancer one, that is the fuligolinki. Other clears the complexion. That means when the patient will have some sort of acne or pimple, this particular remedy will help them to clear it. That is the beriberi saccifolium. Then coarse rattling of chest in old people can be seen in Ammonium gummi. Cold sweat on face, especially about the mouth and nose, then we can think of rheum with that characteristic symptom, that is offensiveness. Colic from uh, getting feet wet, that is dolichosis. Commodons and acne of face, and the crustal lacteal with the soreness around the ears, that is the Junglens regia, is the remedy. That's acne of the face and the crustal lactical with the soreness around the ears. Constant desire to do something great, to undertake vast feat of strength, that is cocaina. And constant weak feeling in nose, which no amount of blowing will relieve, that is postnasal catarrh of puberty, that is pentorum. Constipation of children is mainly seen in Nectanthus arborescens. Then about the remedy, alumina silicata. This is the remedy having a marked general symptom and also the constriction of orifices. So alumina silicata is having the marked general symptom and also constriction of orifices. And the diarrhea and dysentery with aching in sacrum and loins, that is guaco. And then diarrhea, which is post discharge, loud noise in abdomen, like a gurgling of water coming out from bunk of coal, associated with coldness, cramps, nausea, vomiting, better by placing hands in cold water. And the remedy is Jatropa. So Jatropa, like crotentic, here it's a diarrhea is a gargling of water coming out of bunk hole, associated with coldness, cramp, nausea, vomiting, better by placing a hand in cold water, that is Jatropa. Here, this particular patient will discuss a symptom with everyone, that is the Populus candicus and the disease of antrum. When the stomach, mainly in the antrum, where the disease is pronounced, we can think of Tilia Europa. The other remedies like Aliiod or Chelidonium. Dreams of flying through the air. So through the air, the remedy is Rux glabra, and the dry cough was from air and into larynx, tobacco smoke, talking, and irritation of the suprasternal fossa. We can think of Menta pipitra. Is the other one. And this is the remedy having a marked action on the liver with jaundice, mucous membrane, persistent sleepiness. That is Myrica cerifera. Then vanilla is the other remedy which has marked skin irritation resembling milk poison yolk. Then botulinum is the other remedy which has a mask-like expression of face due to weakness of facial muscles. Mask-like expression of face due to the weakness of facial muscle. You can think of botulinum. Mental disorder in nervous or Asiatic individual. Particularly, there is a constant fear of death or erotic or maniacal attack. We can think of Diosma lincaris. And this is the remedy, that is nitromuriatic acid is the remedy adapted to the hepatic trophor and gastric catarrh. common in hot and damp climate, and aggravated by meat eating and alcohol, almost specific in oxaloria. So this is the remedy is more specific in oxaloria condition, and it's adapted to hepatic tropher or gastric catarrh, which is get worse in hot and damp weather and aggravated by meat eating and alcohol. The remedy is nitromuriatic acid, most effective in the beginning of coryza, checking its further development. That is the Quillia spinora, sapnoria. Sorry. Then the muscle paralysis without impairing sensation and consciousness, reflection actions all are diminished. That is curare. So curare is the remedy where the muscular paralysis without impairing sensation and consciousness, and the reflex is also diminished. Reflex action is diminished. Mutinism of childhood unconnected with deafness, that is agraphic Newtons. So agraphic Newtons is the remedy where the mutinism of childhood unconnected with deafness. Nausea is better by smoking, that is Eugenia jambicus. We have already seen this symptom. And nervous exertion and sexual debility and the morphine habit call for this remedy rather than the material dose, that is Avena sativa. So Avena sativa will have the more sexual debility and the nervous exhaustion, and the morphine habit is called for this remedy. If the patient is having the character who is taking off morphine and with the sexual debility and exhaustion, nervous exhaustion, we can think of Avena sativa. Nervous women who do not recover fully but are continually irritable and suffer from debilitating sweat, that is castroia. The neuralgias of inverted skin eruption, chilliness, indigestion with great flatulence and distension has been seen in vaccinum. The neuralgia of the ear pain, neuralgia of ear pain goes from one ear to the other through the head, that is the plantago major. So nervous women who do not recover fully but are continually irritable and suffer from debilitating sweat, then we can think of castrium. And neuralgia invertia, skin eruption, chilliness, indigestion with great flatulent distension, we can think of vaccinum. And the neuralgic earache pain goes from one ear to other through the head, that is the plantago major. Obstinate skin affection, and notably in barber's itch and acne, that is weeping eczema, can be seen in sulfur iodata. On the eye, it acts more promotely on the atropia, which is strongest as a mydritic, that is the dubizo. One of the most efficient and latest harmful or teniafugus remedy, that is the cucurbita pepo, and pain at the spot about the left third costal cartilage where the joints join the ribs, that is the pix liquida. Cobalt is the other remedy when the pain in the sacrum and back while sitting and better lying on walking. Pain shoot in zigzag course from lumbar region to middle of scapula, that is Sarcenia purpura. Painful cracks in the corner of mouth, and it's guiding to the symptom of remedy, that is quadrag. And papillar-like eruption, which is vesicular tendency, especially on scrotum, also on the hand, tibia, shoulder, antrum, and dorsum of the feet, that is andhra cocali. Then calcarea picreata is the remedy where the patient will have perifollicular inflammation, a remedy of prime importance in recurring or chronic boils, particularly when located on this thinly covered with muscle tissue, shin bones, coccyx, and auditory canal, dries coffee accumulation and exfoliation, epithelial scales, etc. And the stitches can be seen in the calcarea picreata. So there will be a perifollicular inflammation is the first and foremost important symptom. Then patient will having recurring boils, and particularly it is located thinly covered muscle tissue like shin, coccyx, artery canal, dry scurfy accumulation, exfoliation of epithelial scales, etc. And styles, this can be seen calcarea picrata, persistent desire to sleep, dull, discontinued, and mental state, hideous in delusion and nervous, constant motion of finger and feet, that the remedy is indoor. And the petrolazinum is the remedy with which piles with much itching. And then pylorrhea while traveling, pain in the region of kidney, better lying and bend backward, that is Shahinka is the other remedy. Syzygium, prickly heat in the upper part of the body, small red pimple and itchy violently. So prickly heat in the upper part of the body, the small red pimple itch violently can be seen in syzygium. Produce a desire to talk, a flow of language, and courage to make a speech, that is lecnanthisis. Calichlorium, it's produced and most acute ulcerative and follicular stomatitis. And the salicylic acid has a prostration after influenza, also tetanus, aricum, and deafness. Sarcolactic acid, this the remedy is proved by Greeks, found greater value in most violent form of epidemic influenza, especially when there is a vomiting, wrenching, great prostitution. When arsenic has failed, we can think of sarcolactic acid. Pruritus vulvae with yellow leucorrhea was red. That is the phagophyrum is other remedy. And the putrid diarrhea, intestinal GIT is derangement, especially in children, stool like frog span. That is salicylic acid. And this particular remedy, that's thallium is the remedy, relieves the violent pain in locomotor ataxia. Then Archimon mexicana is the remedy of rheumatic disease associated with the bright disease. Then pepper nigrum is the remedy which having the sensation and burning of pressure everywhere. Coccus cacti is the remedy, sensation of foreign body between the upper lid and the eyeball. Adrenalinum is the other remedy, sensation of thoracic constriction with anguish and adrenal anguish. The Rus aromatica is the other remedy, severe at the beginning of or before the urination, causing a great agony in children. And then sick headache in person who have used tea and coffee in excess, that is the Palina sorbilis. This is the remedy where we can think of the patient with coffee or the tea addiction. Again, the Caliars is the remedy which has skin cancer where suddenly an alarming malignancy without any external signs sets in. Then skin symptoms accompanied with febrile symptom, we can think of Primula obnica, and skin wrinkle like a washerwoman, we can think of Canca lacqua. Soreness of the chest along the trachea, cannot stand while percussion. That is the Calin. Specific action of Penartium and acts more particularly often than Silesia and Hepar. The remedy is Myristica. So the Myristica is the remedy where is one given a wonderful result in case of pyronychia. Then specific or hookworm disease can be seen or cured by thymol, or the symptom can be seen in thymol. Sternomastoid muscles is painful to touch. There is an exact specification, that is pain in the sternomastoid muscle, that is terasata. Suffering from yellow excision of ovary, that is the Uforinum, is the remedy. Patient is suffering from yellow excision of ovary. Then strong and lasting erection can be seen in Yohibinum. So Yohibinum is the remedy where we can see the strong and lasting erection, and suffering following by excision of ovary, that is an Uforinum. And then strawberries produce symptom poisoning in certain of susceptible individual, such as urticarial rashes can be seen in Fragria, and the stitching pain in the left breast running through the shoulder blade can be seen in Myratus communicus. Superficial ulcer and soreness on lower extremity, especially in female, can be seen in Polygon. Sweat increase in rheumatic pain, and sweat increases and the rheumatic pain also increases. The remedy is Tilia Europa. When the skin complaint is alternated with the rheumatic complaint, the remedy is Taphysagria, and the sweat increases as the rheumatic pain is also increases, is the Tilia Europea. The psychomatic remedy, anaphylatic state, is produced by protein and enzyme, that is the Chorula, and the symptoms are worse by food and drinks, that is the Trombidia, is the other remedy. Then about the Plantanus oxidans, that is the tarsal tumor, both acute and old neglected case where the destruction of tissue occurred, cicatricial contraction caused marked deformity of lid, restored to a practical normal condition, that is the Plantanus occidental. Tendency to brain disease, insomnia, and cerebral congestion can be seen in Calibro, and Tilia is the remedy where the aching and heaviness in the region of liver and greatly aggravated lying on left side. Then Jalapa is the other remedy. Is the child is good all day but screams and restless and troublesome at night. The clinical experience of Herring and his fellow provers has shown is to be highly useful in the remedy cracked and ulcerated nipple. It's mainly castor equates. The remedy can be used in CA breast also, and the destruction and action of these medicine on the red blood corpuscles is responsible for the anemia and the jaundice with the secondary symptom. The remedy is trinitro chuleni. And then acerosperma is the other remedy. The discharge of the lungs, want of breath, and during the exertion, that is the guiding symptom, as the and patient will having the cardiac asthma, we can think of aspidosperma. The patient is tired all the night, all the time, and suffer from prolapse, leukorrhea, rectal distress, that is aliteracia. The sharp occipital headache, usually associated with liver disturbance, is a very characteristic of jagulans, and the special symptom leading to the selection of feeling of soreness across the hypogastrium from the ileum. The remedy is Malcolm Sale. Therapeutically decided benefit in case of mitral regurgitation with the broken down compensation, that is Galanthus nivealis, and this drug is highly recommended for the persistent omitting of pregnancy, that is Symphoricarpus racemosa, and this is the remedy can be used in the asthmatic condition with cough aggravated on lying down, that is the Aurelia racemosa. So during the pregnancy time, the patient will have persistent vomiting. Then the symptom, the medicine is symphoric carpus racemosa, and then this is the remedy for asthmatic condition with uh, cough aggravated on lying down. That is the Arelia racemosa. Then about the thyroid enlargement in the obese subject, that is fucus vesiculus. Thyroid enlargement about the time of puberty. You can think of kali iodatum. Tongue is mapped, burning and tongue. Rawness of tongue, pain in the region of liver with the sensation of as if diarrhea would set in. That is can be seen in the raniculosis. So there will be a mapped tongue, burning and rawness of the tongue, pain in the region of liver with the sensation as if diarrhea was set in. That is raniculosis scleratus. And the tongue is yellow coated, taking imprint of teeth. That is yucca filamentosa is the other remedy. Tonsillitis is just like a belladonna, but in dark complex people can be seen in ginseng. And the toothache better while eating causes an aversion to tobacco. That is plandago. Tumor of urinary passage, that is anilinum. And the twitching of facial muscles and convulsive uncontrollable movement of arms and leg, that can be seen in mygale. And uridrosis is a sweat of urinosis order, can be seen in Irinija. Urine smells strongly like a violet. That is the primula varius, and urticaria from gastric derangement. That is Triosetium profilatum. Urticaria is without itching. That is the ua ursi and dolichosis. Then urticaria was spirituous liquors and heart drinks. Urticaria from spirituous liquors and heart drinks. That is choleralum. And the first used radmacher of chronic spleen. Chronic spleen affection and spleen dropsy take away the craving of alcohol. We can think of Guricus glandium spiritus. So this is the remedy where we can think of patient will having the chronic spleen affection and spleen dropsy, and it will take away the craving of alcohol is also. That is Guricus glandium spiritus. Then cinnamomum is the remedy with the uterine hemorrhage caused by overlifting during the perpural state, menorrhagia, and cancer where the pain and fitter are present. That is cinnamon. The vertigo is very persistent pain in stomach and abdomen was about umbilicus. That is the granitum. So this one is we have seen already. Again, dyspepsia after infectious disease, especially Grips disease, that is quassia. Then eczema in neighbors of wound, that is formalin. Then enlargement of uterus can be seen in Fraxinus americana, and this is the other good remedy for the uterine fibroid also. Then epileptic form of convulsion during the menstruation and pregnancy, that is onanthi. Then everything appears beautiful and large excitement soon changing to depression like Eugenia Jampos. Everything appear large than it really is pain of cancer. That is the euphornium. Then excoriating backache, aching in leg. That is the varioleanum. And the eye symptoms, that is alternate with diminishing hearing and the sensation as if brain would falling forward. That is Guarie. Facilitates the termination of cold and conserve the strength of appetite. Bronchitis of children over 7 years. So other remedy is natrum arsenicosum is the remedy. Mainly the children will have the bronchitis over 7 years and facilitate the termination of cold and conserve the strength of appetite. Pepper is the other remedy. Fall of scales of sleeve on white spot, which often ulcerated leprosy and ichthyosis. Saccharum officinale is the remedy with the flat, bloated, large limed children who are cross, peevish, waning, capricious, want things, and teddy, refuse substantial food. That is Saccharum officinalis. Fears of train and close place. That is Saxena. Feeling as if all internal organs were too large. Internal organs were too large, especially those of left side. That is the jugulus cinerea. Feeling as if mumps are coming, produces smart talism, that is trifolium. Feeling as if part of body absent, cotyledon. Feeling as if bowel were settled in lower abdomen, opuntia. Then feeling as if string were tied in the slip knot around the intestine, which suddenly drawn tight and then gradually loosened. Chinonandus. First stage of cholera infantum, vomiting and purging can be seen in nephilim. For those who are compelled to work an insufficient amount of sleep, that is syngum-ascetic. So patient will have an insufficiency of sleep, and with the compulsion or work, we can think of syngum-asceticum. First stage of cholera infantum, vomiting and purging, we can think of nephilim. Forgetful, wearing long between opposite resolution, lack of self-confidence and feeling covered in face, that is Barretta ascetica. Found useful in emphasia with successive dyspnea and causes much mucus and secretion, that is the Antimonium arsenicum. Frequent erection tasting like a bad eggs, that is magnesium sulf. So magnesium sulf is the remedy which has a frequent irritation and tasting like a bad egg, then found useful in the emphysema with excessive dyspnea and cough with much mucus secretion, that is Antimonium arsenicum. Forgetfulness, long between opposite resolution, there is a lack of self-confidence and feeling of cove up in face, that is the Barretta ascetica. And other remedy feeling is sensation of web in the face, that is rhaphitis. Rigidity of females aids the establishment of normal menstrual flow in girls, that is Turinera. Frontal headache with enlarged flashing eye, face wrinkled and old looking, that is Pilax irritant. Gallstone and insomnia can be seen in cholesterol. Use power to endure and prolonged physical exertion without taking food or without feeling fatigue, that is Terricula. And the glaucoma, sense of fullness, eyeballs feels too large. The remedy is Comocladia dentata. It's a good remedy of the vesicle trouble for the operation and in pregnancy. Populus. Then about the Tansetum vulgare, that is half dead, half live, feeling all over. Then Pinus sylvestris, that is has been found in real use in the treatment of weakness, weak angle, steadiness of lower extremities, coughless, rhizotic children. Emaciation of the lower extremity can be seen in Pinus sylvestris. Has a clinical confirmation of it used in the cancerous and ulcerous nodule tumor at tongue. Gallium upranum. As this is the particular remedy has a reputation in the venereal disease and rheumatism pain and rheumatic pain in right knee, that is Jagranda. Then hay fever being with the burning and itching of plate and conjunctiva, annoying itching in the nostril and the roof of the mouth, that is Arunda. So hay fever begins with burning and itching of plate and conjunctiva, annoying itching with the nostril and roof of the mouth, that is the Arunda. Headache with backward and forward motion of the head, that is the lamium. Hungry for apple, that is the Apium granulones. And ill effects of strychnine is neutralized by eucalyptus. And in the act of the rheumatism, dissipates fever and pain in a day or two in day or 1 or 2 days. That means the pain, this is the remedy which has main action in the rheumatism and dissipates which has the fever with the pain in 1 or 2 days. And the remedy is prophylaminum. And the verbena is the remedy where in epilepsy, it brightens up the patient mental powers and helps the constipation. And diosma is another remedy in splenitis where it should suppress the cyanoanthus. And in the human, it proves the result and decreases the reds and increases the white blood cells. That is the benzolium. So benzolium is the other remedy which prevents that resulted in decrease in red blood cells and increases the white blood cells. Inclined to gap and cry, loses consciousness and head reels in high and seal from room. That is the cupricum aceticum. Inclined to gap and cry, loses consciousness and head reels in high and cleared room. That is the cuprum aceticum. And incontinence in children with dreams and nightmares when passing an urine, that is sicusatum. And this is also very important remedy and good remedy in case of children with nocturnal enuresis. And this remedy would have helped us a lot. And increasing the number of red blood cells and corpuscles and the amount of hemoglobin is other remedy, that is lecithin. Before that, we have seen that benzolium is the remedy. It's resulted in decreases the red blood cells and increases the white blood cells. And here it increases the number of red blood corpuscles and the amount of hemoglobin, that is lecithin. And increase the quantity of nursing mother's milk, that is Rexinus communis. And the indigestion from imperfect secretion of gastric juice, that is the Alnus rubra. So that's all about the single lines of rare remedies. So hope you will understand. We'll see in some other topic. Thank you.